Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Brevet.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows: Star Trek jargon, ballet, India, 19th century medicine, father of the bride, and mobilized. Player one, where do we start? A mechanical device used to indicate musical tempo. It's player one. Correct. Player one, choose again. Fly agaric is one of these spore-producing fungi of the Basidiomycetes class. Okay, player one. That's correct. Player one, back to you. It can be a powerful person in entertainment or a member of a Muslim dynasty that once ruled India. Here's the correct response. A mogul. Select again. Someone who moves from relationship to relationship is a serial one. Here's the correct response. A monogamist. We return to you, player one. This large tube-shaped pasta is often stuffed with cheese and baked with a tomato sauce. Player one? Right. Please pick again, player one. In 1885, the first successful vaccine for this was tested on a boy who had been bitten by a dog. Okay, player one? Correct.
Yeah! Woo!
Please pick again, player one. The invention of the ophthalmoscope in 1851 by Hermann von Helmholtz aided inspection of this body part. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the response we were looking for. The eye. You again, player one. In 1865, Joseph Lister began using carbolic acid as this, from the Latin for against putrefaction. Here's the correct response. An antiseptic. You get to pick again, player one. In 1852, George Kamen gave physicians a new version of this instrument, whose name is from the Greek for chest. It's player one. Right. We return to you, player one. This German's discovery of X-rays in 1895 had visible effects in diagnosing medical problems. We're talking about Wilhelm Röntgen. We return to you, player one. Cadets attend a dance at a girls' school in Graduation Ball, a ballet set in this capital of Austria. It's player one. That's right. Way to go. You again, player one. I may say nay if you do a pas de cheval, a ballet step that imitates this animal. It's player one. Yes. Player one, back to you. He designed sets and costumes for Where the Wild Things Are, a ballet based on his own beloved book. Player one? Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the response we were looking for. Maurice Sendak. Player one, choose again. The 2000 ballet TODO Buenos Aires features different interpretations of this sensual ballroom dance. It's player one. That is correct. Player one, you pick again, please. Let's take it over to Jimmy.
It's the double tuck name for this standard ballet skirt.
Yes, player one? That's correct. Player 1. You pick again, please. The Type 2 of this weapon had a max power setting of 16 and could be set to heat, disrupt, or stun. Here's the correct response. A phaser. You get to pick again, Player 1. This device briefly converts a person to energy, beams the energy, then reassembles the person. Here's what we were looking for. A transporter. Select again. When Spock checks chronometric data, he's looking at measurements of the space-this continuum. Yes, Player 1? Good. Select again. Created by Starfleet, it prohibits interference with other civilizations. Here's the correct response. The Prime Directive. Select again. This crystal regulates matter-antimatter reactions that provide energy for travel faster than light. Here's the response we were looking for. Dilithium. Player 1, back to you. The international airport in New Delhi bears her name. We're talking about Indira Gandhi. We return to you, Player 1. Jamshedji Natta, an important businessman of this movie capital, used his wealth to enrich it. Here's the response we were looking for. Bombay. Please pick again, Player 1. As the new leader of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri led it into a war with this neighbor in 1965. Here's what we wanted. Pakistan. You get to pick again, Player 1. Answer, the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Please enter your wager. And the clue. The winner of the 1913 Nobel Prize for Literature, Rabindranath Tagore, was born in this former capital in 1861. That's correct. We return to you, Player 1, and here's Kelly.
The gesture here typically accompanies this common Indian greeting, from Sanskrit for to bow.
Here's what we were looking for. Namaste. Please pick again, Player 1. This steel man who gave away $350 million gave away his daughter Margaret at her 1919 wedding. Player 1? That's correct. You get to pick again, Player 1. On November 14th, 1973, his daughter Anne got married at Westminster Abbey, with 500 million watching on TV. Let's hear it, Player 1. No. Here's the correct response. Prince Philip. You again, Player 1. In 2002, Ralph Steadman, who took a wild trip to this city with Hunter Thompson, went back to see his daughter wed. Here's the response we were looking for. Las Vegas. We return to you, Player 1. 9 weeks before he died, this Broadway lyricist got his daughter to the church on time. Here's what we wanted. Alan J. Lerner. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. Days before the 1992 election, this candidate accused the GOP of trying to disrupt his daughter's wedding. Let's hear it, Player 1. No, that's not right. Here's what we were looking for. Ross Perot. The Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. The 1920s. Statues. Cats and dogs. Foreign words and phrases. The fabulous 50s. And fill in the book title. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. 1749, Tom Blank by Henry Fielding. We're talking about Jones. Player 1, choose again. 1895, Blank the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. Here's the correct response. Jude. Player 1, pick again. 1925, An American Blank by Theodore Dreiser. It's player 1. No, that's not right. Here's what we were looking for. Tragedy. Select again. Answer. The first of the daily doubles. You are currently in the lead. You need to select your wager and the clue. 1922, The Beautiful and Blank by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Right. You again, player 1. 1860, The Mill on the Blank by George Eliot. Here's the correct response. Floss. Player 1, pick again. On January 7, 1927, transatlantic phone service began as the president of AT&T called this world capital. Here's the correct response. London. Player 1, choose again. Chicago gangster Dion O'Banion, who started the practice of lavish arrangements at mob funerals, had this civilian trade. Here's what we wanted. Florist. Please pick again, player 1. Competition from the new Chevrolet spurred Henry Ford to introduce this new model in 1927. Player 1? Sorry, that's wrong. Here's what we wanted. The Model A. We return to you, player 1. Fresh out of Columbia University in 1923, he debuted at the age of 20 with the New York Yankees. Let's hear it, player 1. That's not it. Here's what we wanted. Lou Gehrig. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Answer? The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. What are you going to wager? And the daily double clue. This evangelist made plenty of headlines in the 1920s, like in 1926 when she claimed to have been kidnapped. Good. Player 1, you pick again, please. Siamese kittens develop their full adult color within a few months, but are born mostly this color. Yes, player 1? That's right. Way to go. Player 1, pick again. The Bombay cat, a cross between a Burmese and a black American shorthair, originated in this largest Kentucky city. Let's hear it, player 1. Oh, sorry. That's in. Here's what we wanted. Louisville. We return to you, player 1. In England, this cat breed was once known as a foreign blue. Here's what we were looking for. The Russian blue. We return to you, player 1. This dog that derives its name from a place on the eastern shore of the Adriatic is also called a coach dog. Player 1? That's correct. You've got some money again. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Corgis come in two breeds, Cardigan Welsh Corgi and this one. Here's what we wanted. Pembroke. You again, player 1. Elementary, my dear Watson. Leslie Howard's son Ronald played him on a 1954 TV series. Yes, player 1? Yeah! That's correct. Player 1, you pick again, please. A series of nightmares that C.S. Lewis had about these animals inspired him to write his first Narnia book. Let's hear it, player 1. Yes. You get to pick again, player one. This future U.S. First Lady went to England to cover Queen Elizabeth II's coronation for the Washington Times-Herald. Here's what we were looking for. Jacqueline Kennedy. Select again. This actor hit the top 40 with the song Moonlight Swim. A few years later, he went psycho. Here's what we wanted. Anthony Perkins. You get to pick again, player one. Cary Grant's wife, Betsy Drake, survived the 1956 sinking of this ocean liner. Here's what we wanted. The Andrea Doria. We return to you, player one. The sower atop Nebraska's state capitol in this city is tossing seeds to the Great Plains 400 feet below. Here's the response we were looking for. Lincoln. Player one, you pick again, please. Blue Earth, Minnesota has a definitely giant 55-foot statue of this pea pusher. Here's what we wanted. The Jolly Green Giant. We return to you, player one. Sam Houston stands 67 feet tall along Interstate 45 in this state. Player one? Yes. You get to pick again, player one. Let's take it over to Jimmy.
A statue of this discoverer of Florida stands near the street named for him in St. Augustine.
Here's the response we were looking for. Ponce de Leon. You again, player one. In 2003, a statue of this man was pulled down just a year after it had gone up to mark his 65th birthday. Here's the correct response. Saddam Hussein. Player one, back to you. The name of this type of poem is from the Japanese for stanza. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Player one, choose again. Undercover cop Arnold Schwarzenegger taught it in a 1990 film. Here's what we wanted. Kindergarten. Player one, back to you. A medical aphorism, primum non nocere, is translated as, first of all, do know this. It's player one. Good for you. You get to pick again, player one. This Arabic salutation, often followed by alaykum, means peace. The correct response is salam. And now the $2,000 clue. Literally, blow of mercy, this French phrase is used for any decisive stroke. Here's what we wanted. Coup de grace. You will participate in Final Jeopardy right after this. So much depends on how you do in the Final Jeopardy category, which today is U.S. Presidents. So, what's your wager? Sorry, you can only wager up to your current score. This is a good category. Here's the clue for you. He's the only U.S. president who never lived in the District of Columbia. What did you say? And that will cost you. The correct response is George Washington. Congratulations, player one. You are our new champion. So long.